Now we're going to move on to focus on the aspect of how learning is pushed forward by pictures, or can be. This room here looks like, to me, I think it must be the room of a man. Would you agree?
An old man.
Why old?
Because everything's old.
So if I own an antique, that means I'm an antique.
Maybe they are the grandson, granddaughter.
Maybe these pictures are young relations. I think this man is single. I don't know. I think he must be quite poor because he hasn't got a bathroom.
Yeah.
He has a washstand in the corner. He hasn't got many possessions at all. He doesn't have a lot of shoes on the floor or anything. He probably only has one pair of shoes. He lives quite a frugal existence.
Yes.
Yeah. He's got a hat here. He's got some. He likes blue clothes.
Yeah.
He likes blue in general, and so do I. I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? Now, you do the same with the next picture. Working in pairs. Okay. What can you say? What can you say about the occupant of this room?
Teenager loves red.
Female, teenager.
She loves red. Or very young.
Very young. What's very young?
No. A little bit older than teenager. About 20 years. No.
Teenager or
She loves
20
red.
something?
Yeah. She loves red.
She loves red.
Yeah. Because of the dresses.
These dresses are not for going to school in, are they?
No. Maybe they're going to, she's going to two different parties.
Maybe she's going to a party.
On a special occasion.
Is this, does she live in Brazil?
Okay, yeah.
What's the evidence for that? Oh, right. Things written, but she could be an English speaker living in Brazil. No, impossible.
Maybe her name is Liz.
Maybe her name is Liz. Using my magic pointer.
Yeah.
Anything else? I mean, what colour is her hair?
She likes pictures.
What colour is her hair? Brown? Well, it depends. Either that's a portrait of her or by her. I don't know. And then there's a photo of here.
Yeah.
Long black.
Now, a picture like this, where you use your powers of deduction to work out something about somebody who isn't there, you can see how it can bring out a lot of language. And it gives you the opportunity to display something of yourself. There's a kind of personalization going on. You invest something of yourself in what you're deducing here. So pictures have this aspect which is motivating. Apart from the language, you could use it for modals of deduction, for example. But in this section of the talk, we wanted to focus more on the learning aspect. So this personalization aspect, the motivating aspect.
Okay, as Mark said earlier, every picture tells a story. Now, there are loads of pictures like this on the internet. Okay, pictures taken depicting very strange situations. Okay, but I'll just tell you a little story about what I think is going on behind the picture, the story behind the picture. Okay, there's a guy called Jack who lives in a place called Twin Peaks near the Canadian border. He's a lumberjack and he has a 15-year-old son. Now the son absolutely idolises his father and wants to impress his father with what he can do. So one day, him and his friend, Charlie's the son, sorry, Charlie and his friend, decide to take the father's chainsaw and go out into the woods and cut down a tree. They do this, but of course they don't know anything about the technique of tree felling. They don't know where to cut or which direction the tree's going to fall in. And what happens? The tree falls in the wrong direction. They manage to get away. They're not hurt, but the tree falls on top of Jack's truck. So they spend the rest of the time trying to cut the tree trunk into small pieces so they can get it out of the truck. But of course, even so, there's really not much point because the truck's been completely damaged anyway. And here you can see Charlie laughing. It's really the only thing left to do, you know. Everything is lost. Okay, so there's a simple story behind that, but you could come up with your own story for this picture. And in doing so, or your students, of course. Now, in doing so, one interesting thing about these kind of pictures is they are what we call self-adjusting. In the sense that if you don't know, or if your students don't know the word for chainsaw, they don't have to talk about it. They don't have to talk about a tree trunk. Okay? They can simplify their language according to what they know when they talk about the story behind the picture. So these things are they're quite versatile in terms of different levels of students that you can use them with, and also for mixed ability classes. So that self-adjusting is an important quality, we think, for learning. However, of course, they're also, they're curious, they're motivating, they attract your attention. And in that way, you know, they might kind of encourage you to want to say something that's beyond what you're capable of saying. But nonetheless, you're going to try and say it somehow or anyway. Okay? So in that sense, they can kind of push a learner's into language forward. They can drive language learning forward as students struggle to say what they want to say, to express themselves. And also, using circumlocution strategies, for example, if they don't do that very well, then another person in the class might ask them to explain further what they mean. Okay, and I'm thinking here about Kathy Bailey's presentation on communication strategies, you know, and we know that negotiation of meaning is an important element in developing learners' communicative competence. Okay, so these kind of pictures are really quite useful from the point of view of language learning. Now, we're going to show you another one and give you 2 minutes to come up with your own story behind the picture. Okay, can I stop you now? Is there anybody who would like to volunteer their story? There's a lot of laughter over there. I'm inclined to nominate, I'm afraid.
Maybe the elephant is an animal pet of someone, and the elephant is the pet.
Okay, this is the story. The elephant is a pet, and the owner's taking it to the vet. Poetry in pictures, look. Any others?
They're exchanging from zoo to zoo.
Sorry?
They're exchanging it from zoo to zoo.
Okay, the elephant is being moved from zoo to zoo. Yeah. Okay, really what I should have done was to say to you, and also you would say this to your students, right, think about the situation behind, the people involved, what happened before, what led to the situation, okay, so make sure that you get a lot of detail in the story behind the picture.
Finding more on the internet, Google images, keywords, funny accidents, or funny transport for the ones on the road. Just think of, out of your own head, keywords and try lots of different ones and make yourself a bank of these pictures to keep in your stock for using in class. Last activity. Well, I want to tell you about some research which took place in California, and the research was intended to prove that people look like their dogs. And apparently it's true. It's true. And the experimental procedure was this. They took photographs of people and their dogs, mixed them all around, and then got some volunteers to try and do the matching. And they could do it, something like 75% correctly. So now you try. Okay, so number 1.
12.
2.
11.
3.
5.
4.
6.
7.
9.
And 8.
10.
That was unanimous. So I rest my case. Now you're preparing a lesson on describing appearances, the way people look. Instead of just having a picture of somebody and a text describing, you can make it more appealing with something like this. Something like this, I think it acts like a magnet on your students' attention. You don't have to go, hey, look at this. You put it there and everyone goes, whoa. It pulls their attention like a magnet, which is ideal for teaching. Something which they want to look at. It does half the work for you. So you can use this as an attention magnet and then go on to use it for adjectives and descriptions of people. So that's the end. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.